Hey guys, this is Simon with TRADEnPERFORM Coaching. This is how you get a hold of me. That's my shameless self-promotion right there. TRADEnPERFORM@gmail.com. If you'd like a 5-day pass to the room, we currently have 5 spots open for new members. And when those fill up, we will close the room down again until everyone's on the same page. And then if and when the room feels like we can add more people, we will open it back up again. So if you would like a pass to the room, that's how you email me. And when those slots fill up, they fill up. Okay, so let's see if I can. I'll first get out of this. There we go. And so what we're discussing today is the TnP Momentum indicator and how to use it. So this is a coaching session really for the members in the room. Others are welcome to follow along. We had a great week. I've had several people report that they had win rates in the excess of 80%, some into the 90% win rate. So I am going to cover that with everyone. Okay, so we're going to be looking at NQ. The same principle applies to ES. So guys, in the room specifically on the 15 and the 24, when we trigger on a double momentum, double wave setup, right? When we trigger on that, the bar that we are looking for to launch us, particularly off the 15. So it applies. So I'm going to break down the rules for a single trigger and a double trigger, right? And I'm going to break down the entry. But the entry that I am looking for primarily, and I'm going back to Monday, and I'm going to go through step by step each entry. Okay. So from the time that I trigger, so for example, this is 8:30 off the open, and this is going to be number 1. This is going to be number 2. So from number 1, I'm going to go through the setups that work. First of all, any apex trap. So this comes off the 15. I'm going to color that yellow. Okay. So from this point, my first entry is any bar that is engulfing with a triangle up, a star followed by a triangle up. All of those, the only requirement for those is that they be in the, if they're not a star triangle up, it has to be in the lower channel. Okay. So for example, I have now triggered, right? I've now triggered right here on a, let's see how I did this. Over here, this was a double, this is a single, and then we go double right here. So I'm going to mark that in red. Okay. So when I'm looking through this series, how do I want to explain this? Oh, I know. So we're counting from right from the beginning of the day is how I mean to indicate this, right? So when I look over here, this is my first, if you look at the numbers, 43 over 23, 53 over 38. I now know on the 15 that I am in a position where I am looking for a long immediately. I'm looking for the first setup, right? So this is the first place. This is the first trigger right here. And you will see that I get an engulfing bar down here with a little green square. And then I get a triangle up with a plus sign. So on the 15, this is my first valid long. Okay. Now, remember, without making this too confusing, I want a second momentum wave to build, right? And I get that right here. So if you'll notice, I could have gone long right here on the 15, and then a long, second long right here. I'm going to show this. This will be my first long. I have to have the triangle up. The stop has to go underneath here on the 15 tick. It's about a 12-point stop on this NQ. Okay, make it 13 to make it a hard stop. Okay, my second trade entry in this pattern is going to be after I trigger again. You'll see I go star, triangle up. Again, entries on the bar with the triangle up. Stop is again about 12 points, and you can see it just face rips from there on this Monday morning. Right. Now go through the same sequence on ES, right? So again, we're looking at 8:30. This is my first dominant up. Again, I can use anything that comes out of the bottom. So people are going to ask, well, do I use the 15 or do I use the 24? They merge into each other, right? One's just giving you an early warning. For example, I am long on the 15 from right here. Okay. Also, just remember the room, any apex trap from that point forward on either setup valid. Okay. So this is my first setup right here, long. Now I've gone double, right? So what I'm looking for over here, where it's gone, it was double over here. Now on NQ, it is double right here, which is at 855. It is now double. See how they're matching up? So if you'll notice from that double, right? This is easier if you remove the rails if you don't need them, right? From that double, you'll see star, triangle up. That is my long right there. I know that's at 859. Most of us wouldn't take it because there's probably econ coming. I don't remember if there's econ on Monday, but that's my entry, 12-point stop, clear rip, right? And then you'll see it comes back, right? So you'll see it doesn't set up over here, right? It does not set up over there. You don't get the engulfing bar followed by the triangle up. So this gives you your first rip into 901. So members in the room will understand what I'm talking about. These are very structured, very specific setups. We're not guessing. They appear in real time and they don't wipe away. This is entry 2, just basic apex trap, triangle up. Again, this is less than a 10-point stop right here. And you'll see the rip to the upside and then the continuation out. And if you look over here, this is double divergence, right? Orange bar with a circle on it. Double divergence. Let me erase the lines here from real quick. Apex trap. So as soon as I get this, I know my apex traps are very likely to work. This is double divergence, apex trap. The rules will change. You do not need it to come out of this third channel. And you are long for the rip to the upside. Okay. And now this is the complicated part I'm going to show you. Each time we get a new double wave from either the 15 or the 24. So this is how you trade momentum, right? So if you'll notice, it pulls back, right? We go dominant here and dominant here on the 15. Okay. The number one thing I'm looking for here now is star triangle up. I don't get it here and I don't get an apex trap. And I don't get it over here on the left. It's all right. Still lifts. We're all fine. You'll notice also over here I go 34, 39. I'm now double wave up. I'm still looking for an apex trap or star triangle up. Again, I do not get it. And you will see again, it comes back over here and gives me the 15 is going to have a lot of signals. Don't pay as much attention to it, right? Unless you're very good at video gaming. But what you'll see is off your original entries, right? So I'm going to come back to this. Remember, your original entry on this thing is way back here. Right? Like you've already ripped 100 points in the morning, right? So then when you come over here to the right after 9 o'clock, your next entry was right here and right here. This is a 20, 30-point rip. This is another 100-point rip right there at 906, right? Another huge rip to the upside on Monday morning. So what I tell people on the apex traps is, especially on the 24, once you get your first two apex traps are usually good to go. So I want to show you what I mean by that. See how it triggered again? This is your first apex trap. It's still valid. Come over here to the right. Don't see another apex trap. It fell apart. And now we are starting over, by the way, right here. So now we need a new dominant wave. So I'm going to start this cycle over if I can get it to the same place. Oh, you know what? This is the end of the day. Let's go to 1300. Hold on a second here. Here we go. This is to the end of the day, right? So this is in the last hour. So when I'm looking on the, let me see if I can get these to line up. It's 1300 over here, right? So when you look over here, this is dominant wave number 1. This is dominant wave number 2. Let me erase everything. I mean, the P&L is just huge off of this, guys, and consistently. And I'll probably have to give this another shot to get it really clear for everybody. But here's one. So the first thing I'm looking for is engulfing bar. When I get this is my early warning. Now I know I've gone double dominant here. I'm even more aggressive at this point. color red. So from this point, I am looking for engulfing triangle up, or, and more importantly, star triangle up if I can get it. Like that right there. Very, very aggressive with star triangle up. That's my entry. And if you look off to the right, that should provide a very nice return to the upside, which it does. Okay. And then if I come over here to the 24, again, what am I looking for? See how that red line carried over from the 15 tick? And the first thing I see is star, red line forms, star, triangle up. I'm long right here. I can go long off of either one of them, right? Most people are going to be more comfortable using the 24. It's slower and easier to respond to, right? So there's your long, and you'll see before the close, here's the close. That's your maximum favorable excursion right before the close. I guess this is 1500. So that's a run from 11,885 to 11,940. That's 55 points, $1,000 a contract right there at the end of the day. Okay, so that's Monday. And so where I would start with this when I'm learning is I would start off of the 24 and work my way down to the 15. I think it'll be much, much easier for you. I think it'll be much, much easier for you if you do it in that fashion. If you're not familiar with both of these, with the setups and how the indicators work, trying to manage it off of both of them is difficult. And also remember, guys, I'll be guiding you in the room. Like I'm on top of these. When we trigger for momentum, I'm on top of it and I know what I'm looking for. I'm going to say in the room, if I'm there, I'm going to go, hey, we're looking for, and the first thing I'm looking for is star triangle up, but I'm also looking for engulfing bar triangle up, almost every combination with triangle up. But the big one is star triangle up or star down neutral bar triangle up like this. So this, let's say this hadn't been star, but I get star, imagine this star down, right? And then I get triangle up after going double dominant. It is a super, super, super long. You can expect a big stretch out of that trade in most situations. Okay, so again, you had a big stretch in the morning, and if you can keep your focus, you had a big stretch again in the afternoon. All right, so if you come over to Tuesday, let's get over to 8 a.m. Here we are at 8 a.m. at the open, right? So I'm watching, and so this is my early warning, right? This is my first dominant. Okay, so what am I looking for there? Star, triangle up. Now, I'll tell everyone in the room, trading in the first 10 minutes is difficult, right? There's no question that you have to be aggressive and grab it because it could have launched from right there if you're going to trade in the first couple of minutes. But if you look from the time this does the single, then it does the double. We're double right here. So everyone's going to ask me, well, wait a minute, Simon, do I do the single or I do the double? Okay, so the answer to that is after you get the single dominant wave off the 15 tick, okay, all apex traps on the 24 should have a very, very high win rate, higher than normally. They should push up into the 80 percentile win rate, okay? Number two is your star triangle up off of either product should give you a huge lift. And you can see here, so on the 24, you see if I had taken, as soon as this, okay, so realize when this went double, I need it to curve to the right. See how the red line is right there? So I need it to first go double and then go star triangle up. So you'll see that occurred on both charts in this case. It occurred here, star and triangle up on these two bars right there. And then it occurred on these two bars right here. You got a little bit better entry off the 15. And if you look at that result, right, and you look up to the right, you look at the push that it gave off of that. Like that's a 65 to 49. So again, that's another 35, 85 points in the first 30 minutes of the day. Okay. And then as you go over to the right, now you're looking. So see that pull down? First thing I go is I want to see something dominant. So I get dominant right here at 908. Dominant. Okay, that's one. I'm going to go to the right. I don't see Oh, and then immediately you'll see it's the star triangle up. On the 15, I am long on that. I'm willing to lose the 12 points that this involves. I'm long immediately. So you can see on this trade, if I pull it down, that rewards me very, very nicely right out of the gate. And then you'll see also, so the thing is to keep folding it over, right? So now it goes, so if you watch this, and again, when we're doing it in real time, this is easier. This is single dominant. I'll color it yellow. On the 15, I know now, I knew my apex traps would work earlier, but now I even know even more so my first apex traps. All our high odds setups, guys, should work very, very well from here. And now I've gone double dominant here off the 15, right? So you're just doing 2 time frames. You just keep kicking it out. So now I know my odds are even stronger. So what am I looking for? First thing in my head, star, triangle up, engulfing bar, triangle up. So I'm going to go through. So stop. See that right there on the 15? Excuse me, on the 24? I know if I get a triangle up, I'm probably going to look for ways to go long if I don't go long that bar all by itself. Okay, so trick. So there's star at the same time off the 15. I'm long now. Okay, I either went long off the star or I'm long off this bar right here. So let's see what happens. If I get stopped, and the answer is yes. And that's fine. I have no problem with it. Now, so I don't know how this works out because I don't remember how Tuesday went, right? So now if I apex trap again, right, I would have gone long there. If I apex trap again, I will go long. Let's just see whether so I lost 12 points there, right? Okay. Star. I'm still willing to go long. I haven't busted the trade yet. Okay. Triangle up. I am long. Let's see if I get busted again. We'll see. Maybe this is the day where I just have a really bad day. Let's go look. Oh, looks like I'm not going to have a very bad day there. I get paid at least, let's see, my entry would have been here. Star, triangle up. I have 12 points of risk on the 15. And that stretches me from 78 up to 11. So that's 30 points, $600 a contract. If I took it here, right, the first engulfing bar, or in this case, the second engulfing bar, I won't take it more than twice on the 24, no matter how I do it. 2 stops, and I have to wait for a whole cycle to go again. Okay? I've got the list. Now, that's my first apex trap, right? It's that is my first apex trap on the 24. I am definitely long. So let me erase the lines for a second so y'all can see this. And if you're not familiar with the room, this is going to sound crazy to you. That's all there is to it. But we are trading the setups, not the market. Okay? So I'm long 2 places, right? So first of all, I got triangle up. So I'm already long right here. And even if I wasn't long right there, I'm still going to be long, about the same place, 72. I'll make it green. Okay? So now let's see how much money I made, right? That's my first trap. I'm going to shoot for at least 30 points. And you can see I hit the home run there. And then some. That trade gave me let's call it a 72 to 47. So that's 50 plus, let's just call it 30. Roughly 75 points, right? 70 points, so $1,400 a contract in this rip, right? So the key to remember, the losses are small, the RR is big, right? We're shooting for at least a 1-to-1 RR, if not a 2 or 3-to-1 RR. On these traps, after I get the dominant wave, I am looking for 20, 30, and 50 point scales. And on the star triangle up, I am looking for 30 to 50 points, just so you know. So I'm going to keep going through the day, and I'm going to try to find failures. I'm going to obviously try to find this off of dips down. So if we look here on the 24, see how this, here, let's go to the right. See how this dips down over here? I'm trying to find my next trade. So when it dips down like this, when I'm down like this is my first dominant wave, right? So if you're conservative, you're going to go, I only want to go long after a double dominance. This is one. Now, Once I get this one, I'm willing to take any apex trap to the right of that, okay? Or any star triangle up from the lower channel, okay? So let's just play as it goes along. I'm going to have a double dominant wave here. I'm now double dominant, and I'm double dominant on both the, notice I'm only double dominant on the 15, not the 24, right? So I go double dominant off the 15, right? I'm not there on the 24 yet. So I'm willing to, so the number one thing I'm looking for is star triangle up, preferably off the 15, but I'll take it on the 24 as well. Roll down. So there's engulfing bar, divergent bar, orange. I got to tell you, I am long on this bar right here. This is another, you know what? Guys, this is the close and none of us would have taken it. Let's just see if it would have worked out. Nobody in the room would have taken this, no matter what it does. And it lifts, but it's well after market. That must have been the day we had Microsoft's numbers on Tuesday. No one would have traded that in the last 10 minutes, right? So now let's go to the next day where we opened up and we get this rip-roaring plunge to the downside, right? I want to show you how the sequence goes. Let's get through all of this until there's a lot of price action overnight. Here we come to 8:30. This is the market open, okay? So I'm looking on the 15 for my lead, right? So right out of the gate, nothing. This is a so let me take that back. This was dominant right out of the gate, but it was it was 14 over 13. It's not a very big ratio, right? If I if I was aggressive and I was willing to trade the first minute, which I'm not, I would have taken a stop right there. Pure and simple, minus 12. Okay, so now that's busted. I'm still looking for the first dominant move up. I don't have it yet. Now I do. This right here, this is my first dominant. This is my first dominant right here. So I'm looking for star triangle up. Okay, so I'm going to show you how that looks on the 24. I am long, for better or for worse, right here at 94. My target on that is 20 to 30 points, right? Because remember, I am not double dominant, right? So let's see what happens to me. I get smushed. Clearly got my 20 points, right? That's 95. It goes up to 24. Okay. Didn't get the setup over here yet. But the other thing I'm going to notice now is I went 25 and 26.75. So I'm double dominant right here. So I'm now looking for my apex traps. And I'm about to go single dominant on the 15. So you can actually reach across on this if it'll trap on the 24. Let's see. I would have taken any of these with a triangle up or any of this. Oh, you know what? I stand corrected. So see how this star triangle up? I want it to come off the apex like this, like a star. I don't want it to be the second or third bar in. I want the star to be in the bottom. That was just in that 845, 850 funky period of time, right? So as I'm moving to the right, now I'm going to start over again, right? Now, well, I'm going to show you the important part. So see over here, I go dominant right here. That's the first time I go dominant 1, dominant 2. This is fits me. So I would expect a large rotation up out of that area right there. So if you'll notice, dominant here, I don't get star triangle up, nor do I get an apex, but I'm willing to look. I got to tell you, see this star triangle down? If this flips up and goes triangle up, I would go long off the 24. So let's just watch it bar by bar. Okay, star triangle up, I'm long right here. Don't know why I have this here, but I'm going to erase it. There we go. I'm long immediately on this bar. And I don't know why I drew that here, but I'll erase that as well. Oh, it's trying to erase it. Give it just a second. There we go. So I'm long the 11,652. Again, my target on that is 20 to 30 points. Right? See if I get stopped. And that's fine. This is a 12-point stop for me. I have zero issue taking that trade. I'm good there. Right? Believe me, it rewards me more than not. The idea is not to have zero losses, it's to have contained losses. And so you see how we break down here? Okay, I want to show you something. See how this is still within, it's gone double dominant and single dominant. My first apex trap over here is all good. And guys, if y'all are new to following me, there's multiple setups and most members pick one. I'd be long right here on this bar. There's no question in my mind. And then also star triangle up. So I'm either long, we're long in the same place, 11,630 with a roughly a 12-point stop. Okay, so let's see what happens to us. And this, I got a feeling this is the big down day, so let's see what happens. If I get my 20 points is the first thing I'm worried about. Obviously I do, because I'm long again 11,630 and I'm at 11,656. So I've lost 12. I've gained 30 for my first scale. And that looks like that's all she's going to give me. Oh, and I want to be clear. I'm going to come back and take this long as well. Again, I'm going to try to push it regardless of the outcome, long 37. And you can see there again on 37, I get my 30 points out of that trade, right? Number two. And we know it rolls over somewhere here, I think. I think Tuesday ends up being the big bad down day. You can see again the apex trap over here. Worked on the 15, did not work on the 24. This would have been a stop, and you notice that you don't get the star triangle up, right? Either way, I'm probably going to be pretty aggressive there. And now I know that, oh, and there you go. There's your next, this apex trap failed. There's your next apex trap, star triangle up on both the 24 and the 15. I'm long on both of those, and you can see again, see how the RR is ripping far more on all of that, why I'm looking for the double dominance. And again, you can see that it's gone double dominance. I know I'm going to make that check mark, right, off to the right. It's worth waiting for, right? And then if you can't do all the setups, guys, just focus on one thing, right? The apex trap, you know, this, this, this. This is all basic fundamental. Hey, this is what we're looking for. That momentum indicator, that double wave, is telling us that we have very good odds that we're going to lift off. Again, if I'm over here looking at 24 and I get that pink bar after I've done double dominance, and it's the first bar in the sequence, I'm long again here, or I'm stacking the trade. All of these are individual signals, but taken as a whole, once you put the momentum in place, will pay you very, very nicely. Okay, so as you go through the day, you're going to see we get the rip here. Okay, now I'm looking for a pullback, right? So see through here how I can't get the pullback through here all of a sudden? All right, let's go to 10 o'clock. Hold on. See how we get this big lip over here? And you're like, okay, I'm looking for the pullback. I'm looking for the pullback, right? So if you look through here, we've rolled sideways, right? And now I'm looking for we've come up, we've pulled back, and I'm looking for my first dominant wave. We pulled back. This is my first dominant wave up right here. If I get a second wave, even all the way up here, I know I expect to push up, and I'm clearly going to get it right here. All right, see how we get that second wave? Now it's double dominant, right? And so this is where you stop thinking about the market and just think about the setup. I'm looking for my first apex trap. That's a star right there on the 15, and it's a star, divergent star on the 24. If the next bar is triangle up, now I have two ways of doing this. I can take this, and if the next bar is down, just close out the trade, or take the position, and if it's triangle up, either add to the position or know that I probably got it here. So next, so see that right there, that 11,750, I'm out on the trade. I'm done right there. It's less than a 10-point stop. Why? Because I needed to see a triangle up. Now this one's going to be one of those where it goes no apex trap. Nothing for me to do yet. I'm long on that. Okay, we'll see if I'm right or wrong. It's had a pretty good roll over there, but I'm long right there at that 11,746 and a quarter. Again, small stops, big wins. Clearly get my points, right? 11,747, right? I had a 12-point stop off the 15. I do not get my engulfing bar, so it doesn't really set up on the 24, and it's not an apex trap. But you can see I went from 11,747 up to 11,787, 40 points. So I had 12 points of risk, 40 points, about 3.2 RR on that trade. Right. I'm going to the right. Okay. You'll notice over here, I went double dominant up. Right. See how that's triangle? This is actually, no, that's not appropriate. The star had to be on the first one. It's nothing. It's just a mistrade in this case. Just went. And I'm probably going to pause and wait for the market to pull back now, which it never does. That just ripped for hundreds of points. And if you look over here again, you'll see that we go dominant right here. This is just, it just didn't set up at the end of the day for this trade. It's just unfortunate. It just turned without setting up, and that's okay too. And if you look late in the day here, if you look for the dominant setup, this was very late in the day. And again, I generally don't trade the last hour. If you look where it pulled back, it goes dominant right here. It does not go double dominant at the end of the day, just dominant right there. And if you look to the right, this went star triangle up. It stops you out. It would have stopped me out because I would have never held it. I would have never taken it at 1450. But it also went star triangle up right here after it went dominant on the left, and it went dominant over here on the 24, single dominant. So let me pause again. Single dominant means you can be aggressive. Double dominant means you can be aggressive and expect a long push out on that. Okay. It tells you that the momentum is shifted and they're trying to pull it up. Your stop should be small and your RR should be large. Okay. And you'll see that they pushed out. Let's go do Thursday really quick. So to start the morning at 8:30, you can see we were already face ripping to begin with at 8:30 in the morning. So generally we would want to see a pullback, right? So when you look at this pullback, this is the first place we've gone dominant, single dominant on the 15. Again, I'm usually just marking this off of the rim, so you're just focusing on the potential entry. And it is not yet dominant on the 24. So any apex trap down here, anything like that, star, triangle up. So you'll see it breaks. See how it breaks and we just start rolling down. So when you see this completely broke. So guys, this is not an apex trap over here. It misses. It's just divergent bar, double divergent bar. So guys in the room know what that means. Double divergence, I'm long off of that bar if I see it print. It's 856 and we probably have econ right after it. So that'd be the only reason we wouldn't take it, but that would normally be a very good trade. So if you look, we come back down. Again, we're dominant right here. And I want to tell you, right at 9 o'clock, see that it goes dominant right there. Star triangle up right here. And if I can be fast enough, and that's a really fast market probably, but if I'm fast enough, I'm going to grab that. And again, you'll see again here, where it goes star triangle up without looking to the right. I'm going to tell you right now, I'd go long. So if you look, there's the almost instant lift that you get out of it, right? And then it comes all the way back down, but realize it's gone dominant and then it's gone single dominant, single dominant. So I'm still willing to take. I want everyone to hear this in the room, right? Star triangle up. I'm willing to take this. I'm going to be long right here. Every time I see this, once I've gone with a single dominant off the 15 or off the 24. So I'm going to be long. I'm dominant. I'm going to be long over here, smaller size, and hope to add back in because of this. It just rips so much of the time. It's a huge, huge edge. I mean, from this entry, this is 62 to 50. It's a 90 point, $1,800 a contract trade. It's just enormous, right? And as if you look when we fall back in, and if it seems overwhelming, it's not. Just slow it down block by block, right? Nothing yet. Now we're dominant, right? So I'm going to push to the right. I have a single dominant. I know now to start looking for my longs again. Okay, single dominant. Still good unless I completely close underneath there. Now I've got to wait unless I get an orange bar with a circle. Nothing to do. Okay, tanking, nothing to do. Nothing dominant yet. So all of this, I'm just sitting on the sidelines. Now I'm going to be looking. I know this first wave will be dominant up. First star triangle up, I'm long. Everything else below that, you can try these, but the star triangle up is what really kills it. So star, no triangle up, star triangle up. I'm long right here. Stop is about 12 points. So that would be a 31. Again, 19 is approximately your stop. And if you look really closely, leave your stop at 19, you have not been stopped. See that? You have not been stopped. And just, let's see what our maximum favorable excursion, because it looks like eventually it will. We went from 19 to 70, roughly 70, $1,000 a contract in that rip. It didn't set up on the 24. Okay, but if it apex traps off that 24, I'll take it. Right? I have dominant, single dominant, star. If that next bar on that 15 is triangle up, I am long. Okay, for better or for worse. Nope. Star, if that next bar up is triangle up, I'm long. I'm long on the, I'm long right here on the 24. I had to cut size a little bit because of the size of the stop. Or I can venture on the star whether I want to take it, or add on a backside test, but I would be long. And face rip again. Okay, and that's halfway through the day. And again, that's a very, very profitable trade. And then Friday was obviously very, very good. The market ripped up and we got triggered on both. So guys, what I wanted to communicate most to y'all, the star triangle up, particularly once we've gone double dominant, okay? Also, once we've gone dominant off the 15, you can start taking your apex traps, high win rates. Guys, that people in the room, they'll know what I'm talking about. If you're not in the room, you're confused, and you'd like to come visit us and see what kind of insanity we're doing, it would sound crazy if we weren't making so much money off of it. All your apex traps after the first dominant wave off the 15, much higher odds. First dominant wave up on the 15, star triangle up, long, long, long. Double dominant off the 15, almost everything on the 24 and the 15 will work, right? Double dominant on the 24, same thing. Your first two apex traps should be golden, and everything should work to the right of that. That is how you trade off the momentum. And if you're overwhelmed by the number of options, right, narrow it down. Just go simple. Let me show you. You can do this exact same process, not pay any attention to the color of the bars, and just go, okay, I've gone double dominant. My first apex trap, I'm long, and still get paid monster off the 24, all by itself. Same on ES. Okay, so I want to reiterate that. Don't get overwhelmed, right? I'm going to suggest the same thing that I suggest to every single one of the people that are in the room and the people that I'm coaching. Pick out 3 setups you can identify. Pick out when the momentum is shifted, and then go after those 3 setups. If there's someone else in the room who can run 7 setups, more power to them. You don't have to do that, okay? You do what you're able to do and grow your P&L over time, grow your knowledge base, and get your feet underneath you. If you try to do everything and you don't have an expertise on one single setup, you will be frustrated, right? If you try to copy what everyone else does in the room, you probably will be frustrated. But if you'll slow your roll down, and excuse me, I'm sorry, I couldn't get to the pause button quickly enough. If you'll slow your roll down and pick the 2 or 3 things. So for me, it's apex traps, star, triangle up. And on the star, triangle up, particularly after the double confirmation of the momentum, I am pushing those trades for better or for worse. It won't work every time, but a very, very high percentage of the time. And again, I'll be covering this with each of y'all in the one-on-one coaching sessions. And anyways, let's go make some money, because this is mega super powerful, guys. And there's not every room that's coming up with, even on the odd week, 70, 80, 90% win rate. And we are. So, and I'm, again, speaking to the members in the room, you don't have to believe that we can do that. Some people just won't believe that you can have a 70, 80% win rate and great RR. We know you can. So it's just a question of building your portfolio over time with setups. We're trading the setup, not the market. Anyways, my name is Simon. Again, if you'd like to visit the room, go back and look at the email address, TRADEnPERFORM@gmail.com. If you're utterly confused, it takes a little bit of time to learn the process, but it is profitable, and it is every member in the room. I invite you to come in the room and ask the members, or email at Red Trader and ask him. You'll see the results, the consistency, the profitability, and that's what I want to convey to people. Anyways, have a great afternoon, guys. I will post this as soon as it's ready. Looking forward to Monday.